A job stands for just over broke. J-O-B, just over broke. Do you understand? Just over broke. When you are working a job, I mean, for anyone who's working a job out there, you know, traditional 9 to 5, what are you doing? Like, do you not realize, like, the economy is cooked, the job market is cooked, the housing market is cooked, inflation, wages are not keeping up with wages. Inflation, or wages are not keeping up with inflation. Like, do you understand this, right? You understand, right? I'm pretty sure some of you already probably know this by now. And you know, I get it. Like, I get it, man. Like, you have to work your job. Like, I mean, even I got a job too. I actually just landed one pretty much today. But I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, man. I mean, you already know this. Economy's cooked. Job market is cooked. Housing market is cooked. I think in California, where I live, it's like the average median home price is like what, like between $700,000 to $800,000. Yeah, good luck. Oh my God, we are never gonna own a home. And I think in U.S. the statistic read like the average median home price in the U.S. on average is like $600K. So yeah, I mean, you do realize that Gen Z, I'm just speaking to Gen Z really quick. You guys do realize that us Gen Z, we are not going to retire, right? Like what the boomers have right now with like, because we're helping them, we're basically like funding them pretty much. Like by the time we get to their age, we get up there in age, we get super old and shit. Like we're not gonna be able to retire just like they are. All that what is it called? Like the pension funds or like retirement funds, or like whatever the social securities, all that shit, like, or whatever the like actual like definitions are called, the terminology. But I think you know understand what I'm trying to say. But we're not gonna have that shit. Basically, we're not, us Gen Z, we're not retiring. So you gotta make some shit shake. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we live in tough times right now, very tough and very uncertain times. So what are you gonna do about it? Like, if you think you're still gonna get by with working a 9 to 5 job and working in a cubicle for 40 years, the next 40 years, that shit's going away. I've already told this in previous videos. That shit is going away very, very soon. I think within the next 5 to 10 years, probably, for sure. Yeah, new jobs are gonna come in because old jobs get replaced, new jobs get created. Yeah, sure. But like most of the, like, I think white collar jobs are pretty much going away. That whole like sitting behind your desk, working in a cubicle, that's all going away very, very soon. And I'm giving it 5 to 10 years tops at best in the next 5 to 10 years. So you really got to do something, man. You really got to do something outside. Like, I get it. Like, I'm working a job. That's part of my short-term plan. You know, I got to support myself financially. I'm still living with my parents, stuff like that. And they're paying for they're covering my bigger expenses, like, you know, rent, utilities, stuff like that. And I even just got a job at Mother's Market actually today. I had an interview and they wanted me on board. So, but the only reason I have this job is because it's just something I have to do on the side in order to support myself financially, like for smaller expenses like food and gas and whatnot, right? So I have to do that in the short run, but you gotta have a plan. You gotta have a long-term plan. You gotta have it. There's no if, ands, or buts about this. You gotta do something. You gotta make some shit shake. It doesn't even have to be YouTube, what I'm doing here. It's basically one of the main reasons why I even started. It doesn't even have to be YouTube or content, even content creation. It doesn't even have to be that. It could be streaming, stocks, becoming a day trader, crypto, starting a business, freelancing, something. You gotta do something, man. I'm not gonna lie, you gotta do something. You can't just like I don't know, just stay safe, if that even exists anymore, with the 9 to 5. The American dream is dead. Everything's cooked. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? You have to adapt. You have to do something about this. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you guys 2 examples of like my specific current experience. I'll bring up 2 big examples. I mean, if like, dude, oh my gosh, I'll get to that in a sec. But dude, you do realize that when you are working a job, right, and you have like you're working with other people, and you have like managers and like employers, and basically there's a CEO of each company, like each corporation. Like, you do realize that when you are working a traditional 9 to 5, you are funding someone else's dream, right? That's you by default are. So just keep that in mind. Okay? When you are working a job, basically, when you're working pretty much any job, you are funding someone else's dream. I mean, I'm gonna keep it that, it's really that simple. You are funding someone else's dream when you're working a job. So now's the time to take risk and bet on yourself, honestly. And now I'll get to the 2 examples. So to further elaborate on my points, kind of. First example is like, dude, I even talked about this. I made a whole video about this previously. You should go check that out as well. But I was applying, like I said, I actually got a job recently, but before that, to get it, I had to apply to a bunch of jobs. I literally just landed an entry-level minimum wage job recently. So I'm gonna be working as a grocery clerk, most likely. Hopefully everything goes through, but everything is finalized. But just for the short term, like I said, this YouTube thing, I'm sticking with it for 6 months at least, seeing where it can take me. If not, we'll have to pivot when the time comes. But as for the examples I'm gonna bring up, I keep delaying it. The first example I want to bring up related to what I'm trying to talk about is, these corporations, they don't care about you. Like, you're just a number to them. I mean, you might already inherently know this. If you're watching, you might or might not inherently already know this, but at the end of the day, you are just a number to them. It's all of these corporations, all these, like, the jobs you work for, it's all about profits over people at the end of the day. That's really all they care about. At the end of the day, they will sacrifice the people, and they will sacrifice the people. They will take profits over people every single time. Every single time. You have to understand this. And the practical example of like how I found like when I truly realized you're just like another number in the system is just like when I worked I worked at PacSun recently, or before I got laid off. I'll tell you about that. So I worked at PacSun for about a month or so. It was like a seasonal term, I was a seasonal associate. So after the seasonal term ends, I'd automatically get laid off along with all the other seasonal associates. And since I kind of joined late into the seasonal term, I thought I was told either by the manager herself, or someone told me that the manager said to them, they told me that me and those other seasonal associates that joined late into the seasonal term when I was working there, they told me that we were gonna just get grouped into the next seasonal term. So I was like, okay, cool, bet, that works out great. I thought, I already knew it wasn't a permanent job. Like I knew it was a seasonal term job, but like I said, I thought I was gonna get put into, I thought I was gonna get pushed into the next seasonal term, which is the next 3 months. So I thought I was gonna be working there for another 3 months, and turns out that never happened. I just got caught off guard, and they just laid me off when the seasonal term ended for mine. And my assumption of getting put into the next seasonal term because I joined late was completely wrong. And I mean, it was partially my fault. I should have knew what was coming, but it kind of hit me like a truck. I didn't expect it. And it was kind of like my first practical experience of real life experience of experiencing that. Like, you are just a number to them, basically. Like, they don't care about you, basically. Like, there's no company loyalty is gone, all that shit. And the second thing I want to bring up that happened recently, which I talked about in a previous video, is the so I was basically, until I got my first job offer, which was literally today, after I took the interview, I've been applying for jobs hella. That's literally that's been my full-time job for the last 2 weeks. Literally applying for jobs and trying to get a job was my full-time job for the last 2 weeks. And one of those places I applied to was a retail store, called Vans. I applied for Vans online, and I usually do walk-ins to pretty much every place I apply to, just to put a face to an application, get my name out there, and give me a better chance of getting hired there, because I'm still competing with a ton of people. But at that specific Vans store, when I applied, I did a walk-in into the store the same exact day to show face, introduce myself to the manager, see what was going on, if they were actually hiring or not, because you guys know about ghost jobs. There's ghost jobs out here everywhere. So I did a walk-in there, and the manager just straight up told me to my face, so casually, yeah, man. So he basically said this, yeah, man. So we have a bunch of applicants. We literally have 500 applicants we have to go through, and you are basically competing with all of them. So expect a call or email back if we decide to do an interview with you. If not, if you didn't receive any call or email back from us within the next however many days, you just know that you didn't get that position. I was like, yeah, I'm not getting that job, 100%. And he said 500 applicants. I'm competing with 500 other. I was competing with 500 other applicants for one. Keeping this in mind, one part-time retail job, and entry level, it's literally a job a high schooler can do. Oh my gosh, bro. Dude, oh my gosh, bro. Yeah, bro, I'm never working a 9 to 5 in the long run. I just know this. So all that to say, you gotta make some shit shake, dude. I don't know what you're gonna do. You gotta start something on the side, and you gotta stick to it. Stick to it for at least 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. Give it everything you have every single day, while you're also, you know, have your job that you have to, like, whatever you have to do on this, like, as your main thing, like working a job or whatever to keep yourself afloat financially. But you gotta start something on the side, dude. That's literally my main point. You gotta do something about this, dude. Like, I just did a whole 10-minute run breakdown of what's going on in the world, basically. And it's really the have-nots and have-yots from this point forward. Like, the middle, you guys probably already know, the middle class is going away. I think there was some statistic that read, like, that out of the 100% of the human population, the top 1% of people own more wealth combined than the bottom 50% of humanity combined. Like, the gap is so huge. Like, do you not understand? Like, oh my gosh, yo, like, it's really, we live in a world of have-nots and have-yots. You know, people still think it's upper class, middle class, lower class. No. What it really is we got it, we successful, we rich, we are rich. And then it goes, we barely surviving, we barely, like, job just over broke, we barely surviving. And then it's, we don't got it. we're cooked, we don't got it. That's how it really works. So this whole, like, upper middle class, lower class thing, that does not apply in today's world anymore. And yeah, all that to say, you heard me. You got to do something about this. I give you the practical example. You got to start something on the side while you work your little job or whatever, which is what I'm doing as well. I'm doing this with YouTube, speaking to you in the front of the camera right here. So, hey, that's pretty much it. You got to do something about this, man. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.